The global water crisis is a pressing issue in our world today, concerning over 780 million people who still lack access to sanitary water. Charities are seriously reducing the amount of deaths. However, with booming economies across the globe who need more and more water for their agriculture, factories, and modern household appliances, there will need to be some serious changes to be made to improve this issue. You can be a part of this movement by choosing the way you live, eat, and drink, and together, the human population can strive to make water a human right. A pressing issue that is contributing to the lack of sanitary water globally is pollution. For example, China, whose economy has recently been growing, has a serious pollution issue. 90% of their river water has been polluted, often by metals from factories. These metals are currently impossible to remove with existing purifying systems, which makes this wastewater. Over 30% of all water in westernized countries has been polluted in some form. Agriculture is also a major cause of pollution in water. Did you know that it takes 2,400 liters of water to make a hamburger? Across many commercial farms, this water is being contaminated by excrement from the animals. This causes the runoff, which in large commercial farms can be millions of gallons every day, to contaminate the streams, rivers, and even groundwater. Water scarcity is another reason that many people are forced to drink unsanitary water. There are two types of water scarcity. Economic water scarcity is where people in a certain area are so poor that they cannot afford sanitary water. Poverty and water scarcity are interlinked. Some countries use 90% of their water to raise livestock because they don't have access to more water. Physical water scarcity is where a certain area has a very low amount of water. This can be caused naturally or by increase in population. Due to increasing populations, the amount of people who don't have access to water is predicted to increase by 70% in the next 10 years. Another reason that many communities have physical water scarcity is because of extraction. For example, the company Coca-Cola goes into countries and extracts water from underground. But how do these companies extract water right from under these farms and villages? The answer is aquifers. Aquifers span for around 5 miles. This makes it easy for companies to take water right from underneath farms and villages, negatively affecting agriculture and access to sanitary water. Additionally, when 1 liter of Coke is produced, around 2 liters are polluted and become wastewater. The water in the bottles is then shipped to other communities who can afford this drink. This water leaves the community, never to return. Another issue in the global water crisis is climate change. Climate change is altering precipitation patterns. On average, this depletes the amount of water in areas where it is already scarce. Areas that are plentiful in water tend to receive more. These different precipitation patterns aren't just affecting humans. They're also affecting other species that live near water sources, such as lakes and rivers. The changed precipitation patterns also diminish the ability of natural systems to filter water and create a buffer for flooding. Eutrophication, when algae consumes a water source, may also occur when fewer animals eat algae. This over-contaminates the water with algae and makes it less hospitable for life. Erosion and flooding can cause toxins to contaminate many water sources. Erosion causes toxins in the soil to be released into streams. Flooding occurs more often because of the loss of rivers' natural buffer, such as plants. This can cause toxins from flooded water to come back into riverways and seep into groundwater systems. Lack of education about sanitation is another main problem in the global water crisis. Ignorance of sanitation can lead to risky behaviors that might contaminate water sources. In many villages, people aren't educated or don't have the resources to properly dispose of their urine and feces. If fecal matter is contaminated with drinking water, diarrhea can be passed from one person to another. Even bathing or cooking in water with feces can cause diarrhea. Diarrhea alone kills more than AIDS, measles, and malaria combined. When afflicted with this disease, one can become dehydrated. With a lack of clean water, this disease can lead to death. Diarrhea is the largest killer pertaining to the global water crisis. However, unsanitary water can also cause typhoid, cholera, and guinea worm. Charities are one of the forces that greatly reduce deaths related to the global water crisis. Charities can both provide sanitary systems and educate communities on how to use water. Some charities provide seminars for people who haven't been educated in effective hygiene. These seminars teach people how to use sanitation systems relating to sewage, hand washing, and bathing. Also, charities provide sewage systems so fecal matter doesn't run off into streams, rivers, and contaminate groundwater. In addition, charities are drilling wells in communities so that people aren't forced to drink unsanitary water that others have gone to the bathroom in. Charities are doing a lot to help solve problems pertaining to the global water crisis. Individuals can also make a difference. Going vegan or eating less meat may sound like a strange thing. However, if a large amount of the global population did this, it would positively impact the global water crisis. While it takes around 2,400 liters of water to make a hamburger, it only takes 900 liters of water in total to make an entire vegan meal, including rice, beans, vegetables, and bread. It would dramatically conserve water if people ate less meat. 1 calorie from a vegetable takes only 0.5% the amount of fossil fuels it takes to make 1 calorie of meat. Eating less meat could dramatically reduce climate change. Unlike a car that in the next few generations might be more efficient, one can't make a cow more efficient. The systems for growing plants, however, are becoming more efficient. Recently, people have developed systems in which water is put directly at the roots of plants instead of sprinkling it on top of them. This new technology is constantly lowering the amount of water needed to grow plants. Did you know that raising animals for food uses more than twice as much water as every other use of water in the US combined? Even though this is impossible, if just a fraction of water used to raise animals was distributed into areas in need, the problem of water scarcity around the world would be completely solved. For now, meat will continue to pollute water and contribute to climate change because meat is an increasingly popular product worldwide and commercial meat farms use lots of water. Another solution could be regulating corporations to stop their irresponsible behavior with water. Corporations shouldn't be allowed to contaminate water sources with substances that cannot be removed with filtration systems. Also, corporations can work to have their products' use of water be more efficient so that they aren't wasting this resource. This would also solve the problem of extraction because if corporations used less water, they wouldn't have to take it from other countries. Finally, corporations can also work to lower their emissions into the world to prevent or slow down climate change. This issue of physically scarce water may seem very depressing, and it may seem hopeless as well. But you alone can make a difference in many people's lives just by the way you go about your day. 600,000 fewer children died this year than in 2009. This is from the work of charities, and by donating to charities and changing your lifestyle, together we can make a big impact in many lives around the world. If you can stop something free with all of your obstacles, then it flows back to me. I know I can sit for love, and I'll fall to the sea from a ledge up above, and you'll fall